Today we're going to disassemble the Springfield Hellcat Slide. Specifically, we're going to remove the extractor and the extractor piston and spring and the firing pin or striker assembly. First, as we always do, verify the gun is unloaded, and then we're going to field strip and remove the slide, remove the recoil spring and guide rod and the barrel. Alright, so first thing we need to do is get this cover piece off. Okay, before we start, you need to have eye protection. There are a lot of springs involved here. There are things that can potentially be launched into your face or into your eye. We don't want that to happen to cause any problems. Alright, in order to get this rear cover off, it slides this way, but there are two things that are putting pressure on it. There's a spacer under here that is part of the trigger mechanism that's putting upward pressure on that, as well as this is the extractor piston here. It's putting pressure on the extractor, but also up against this plate. And to do that, we need to press down on this little square here. Now be aware that this square is plastic, and if you're going to use a metal tool, you're probably going to bugger it up just a little bit like I did here. So you want to press down on this square here and use the pin punch just to get it started. Just to get it started a little, so you can see it's just moved a little bit. You don't want to move it too far, because then this is going to launch out of here and hit the ceiling like mine did. So now to get it the rest of the way out, you want to get a pin punch, ideally that has a little point on the end, so it kind of fits in this little divot here at the top. Alright, and then when you press down on that, you'll be able to slide this cover right on out. Okay, then let go gently, because that's a very strong spring right there. Alright, and once you do that, you can pull your extractor kind of spring piston here, and then you can pull your firing pin assembly right out. And now your extractor is being held in by this spring-loaded pin here. So if you press down on this, your extractor kind of starts to fall out of there like that, and then gently let go of this spring so you don't lose it, and then that'll, you have a spring and your little plunger here. This piece does come apart if you want to pull that apart for cleaning, and there's most of your pieces. And then you can also take this firing pin apart. So you want to get something like a smart bench block, or just do it on the edge of the table or something. Rest it on the bottom of this metal lug here. Grab the spring about right here, push down, and then you want to just take these two cup halves out. Alright, and then slowly release the pressure on the spring, and it'll come right up. And this is your firing pin spacer. Assembly comes apart just like that. Alright, now once we have everything apart, basically you just want to wipe everything down and make sure it's clean. I'm just going to use cotton cloth. I'm going to use some cotton swabs. I like these cotton swabs. They have a pointy end and a regular end. They're great for cleaning all the other parts of the gun. And for a pipe cleaner, I like to use the Otis pipe cleaners. I'm just going to wipe down every piece here real quick. Just wipe down the extractor. If you can't get in all the little nooks and crannies, that's what the cotton swabs are for. And when you get to the firing pin spacer, yeah, it gets a little bit cruddy in there. Clean that up real good. If you want to get inside the spring, you can use that. Get your firing pin, wipe that down real good, especially this area. That's where it comes through the breech face. Now wipe everything. You can wipe these little cups. Alright, and then this clean. I'm not going to clean the whole slide just for this video. We're just going to clean the areas where the firing pin goes and the firing pin parts. You want to get down in this channel. You can use solvent here if you want. Just make sure you get it all out of there so it's nice and dry and clean. Alright, and then the last thing I always do is get a pipe cleaner through here so it can come through the, so you can get something to come through the actual breech face there to clean that up real good. And another place for the pipe cleaner is right down in this channel where the extractor spring goes. You can put that through there and clean that up real good. Just clean all this up down in here. Clean the breech face while we're here. Alright, and then you want to clean the rest of the slide before you put it back together, but we're just focusing on the extractor and firing pin areas at the moment. Alright, now let's start putting things back together. Alright, let's start by putting the firing pin and striker assembly back together. Alright, so first thing you do is put the firing assembly into the spacer like that, and then the spring, doesn't matter which way, goes on here. Alright, and now this is a little tricky to put these cups back in here. Alright, so what we want to do is pinch the spring, hold it down below the throat here. Take the first half cup and put it in like that, kind of pinch it in between your finger, and then put the second one in and slowly release tension on the spring up onto the cups, and it should look like that. Alright, so next, if you took the spring off of here, this spring goes on here, it pushes on, this little piece stays inside the spring, and then this piece pushes on. Now that will spin because that's going to have to be in a certain position, as we'll see later. Alright, so we put that together. In order to put the extractor and the safety plunger back in, first thing you want to do is drop your safety plunger spring in there like that. Then you want to put this safety plunger in this way. Put your safety plunger in this way. Alright, put your finger on it and then kind of look through this slot right here, and you want to push it down until the slot in it lines up like this. Alright, so now when it's lined up like that, you can get your extractor and kind of put it in from the inside so it sits in like that. Once you get it to sit flush, you can let go of the spring up here and it won't pop out because it's now kind of locking the extractor in place. Now you can take your extractor spring, whatever you want to call that, put it in here, and that needs to go in a certain way. Now you'll kind of see that, so you want to see it come through like that. So if it's turned the wrong way, just turn it until you see it slide in place just like that. Alright, and now we want to put the firing pin back in, so that goes in this way. And it slides right in that slot, so everything looks like this now. You want to kind of line things up so this slot is facing in. If it's not, you can twist this, but make sure you put pressure on it so it doesn't pop out down here when you turn that. So you want to turn it so the slot is facing like that. It's going to make room for this to slide in, and that's going to get locked up in that notch. Right, so right at this point, you want to kind of get ready to slide this in. It's not going to go in yet because this spacer is in the way. So get a flat pin punch, push that down enough so you can start this in the slot. Now you only want to go a little part way, far enough to hold that down. So it's going to look like this. Alright, so now we need to press this down, which is a pretty strong spring. So get a pin punch with a little pin on the end, with a little point on the end like that. Be the easiest way to go. And then push that straight down and push this with your thumb until it locks in place. And once everything is in place like that, everything is now back together. You should be able to push this back with a very heavy spring pressure pushing against you like that. And the other thing is when you press forward on the back of the firing pin, it does not come through right here unless you press on the safety plunger. If you press on the safety plunger, then the firing pin will come through the breech face. That's how that works, and that is there to prevent the gun from firing if you were to drop the gun. If you were to drop the gun and the momentum is such that this pin comes flying forward to hit your round that's sitting here, it can't do it because this is in the way. So when you press the trigger, this is pushed up before the striker is released and allows it to come through. Alright, so now you can put your barrel in there, recoil spring and guide rod in there. Alright, and now you can put it back on your frame. Alright, go all the way back, lock it, rotate here, and then let it go. Make sure it feels right. And next thing we want to do is go through a function and safety check. I'll put the link up here in the corner to make sure that your gun is functioning normally before you take it out to the range. Alright, if you found this video helpful, please hit like below. Check out the description for all the tools and cleaning supplies that we used here in the video. Please subscribe and thanks for watching.